And to be fair, government spending has to be cut down drastically. This thing has to go round. And I think that's the crux of the protest. Naturally, some agendas are coming to play. There are those who are advocating for regime change, but that may not be realistic in the short run. But what we can effect and what is already happening is a change in not just language, but in actions on the part of the government. And we want to see it play out to a very logical conclusion. It will not stop in making promises. We want to see those promises being executed on the ground. We need to start feeling the impact of those necessary measures that can cushion the impact of the economic policies, which so far have not really seemed to play out well for us. And yes, 1 year may not be enough to tell how well the government has performed, but it is a very good indication as to the trajectory. So far, it doesn't appear that we've really been able to convince the people in that regard. So, yeah, those are my thoughts concerning that. And then as to the influence of the protest and how it has influenced public discourse, it is not business as usual. Gone are the days when you get away with just making promises. Now we need to see you put your words into action. And that's basically what is going on right now. The main challenge is, of course, when people are hungry, and anger is what fuels the protest. It's only a matter of time before people with less self-control resort to violence. And then put that into the mix with the fact that some insincere parties on the side of the government have also hatched plans to disrupt peaceful protests by seeding in very violent elements. That we've seen play out in the NSAS protest, and it's playing out even right now as we speak. So it makes the whole issue a bit complicated, but not as easy. And it's almost giving the impression of a fire that might as well blossom into a conflagration that will consume the nation if necessary steps are not taken, one of which is that the president of the country must address the nation with clear statements as to what is being done to address the grievances of the protesters. Silence in this situation is not an option. And that's for one. Two, the law enforcement authorities must ensure that the armed men that are on ground are protecting protesters and not enabling violent elements. They are there as a deterrent to both violent protesters, whether anti or for protest. So both ways, that's what they are there for, to enforce law and order, regardless of where it is coming from, whether on the part of the government or the protesters. I think with that, we can see this whole matter to a productive conclusion, which is a sincere hope of every Nigerian observing what's going on right now. So those are my thoughts about the protest and what's going on. And my sincere prayer is that this actually moves us to positive change and to a better place for Nigeria. That the thoughts and the conversations going on will lead us to productive action that would actually take us to where we need to be and lift us out of the doldrums of our current predicament. I think that's very important. And that's all I have to say on this conversation.